Hey everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're going to start in on clue number 3 for Sparkle and Shine. That's the puzzle mystery quilt from Cotton Cuts, and I can't wait to get started. This clue looks like a lot of fun and it looks like a lot of great patterns. I am a sucker for patterns for sure, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, we got our packet for clue number 3. Don't forget you'll need your fabric guide so that way you know which colors go where, and of course I have my instructions. This is clue number 3 for the small puzzle Sparkle and Shine. So let's go ahead and open up our packet and see what's inside. From our instructions, it looks like we have mostly triangles in this one. I'm just making space here. It looks like we have mostly triangles. In fact, it's all triangles. So what do we have? We have fabric B. This is 4 triangles of fabric B. I have 4 triangles of fabric A, and these are small triangles. Then I have some large triangles. This is fabric. I have to look in several places all at once. This is fabric E, so I have 6 large triangles of fabric E. I have 2 large triangles of fabric D. I have 6 large triangles of fabric B and 6 large triangles of fabric A. So that's all that we have in our clue, and I'm gonna go ahead and put these on the table behind me, and we'll start with our step number 1. All right, here we go. This is going to be for section 3A. Remember, your seam allowances are 1/4 inch, so if you're not set up on your machine like that, make sure to do that. And for step number 1, what we're going to do is we're going to join a large triangle of B to large triangle of E and press towards B. So we're going to make 2 of these. So I have 2 set up here. We're just very simply just going to lay these across here like this. Obviously you want to match that up a little bit better than what I did, but we're just going to sew along this line right here, and we're going to do that 2 times. Okay, there we go. We have sewn these 2 together. I'm pressing towards my B fabric, which in my case is this kind of yellowish orange color. So these should look something like this whenever you're done. Let's move on to our next step, step number 2. All right, now that we're done with step number 1, we're moving on to step number 2. It says to add a second triangle of E to the left of step number 1. We're gonna press this again towards B, and we're gonna make 2 of them. So I have 2 ready to go. Now, for my specific quilt, Moonstone, I have some pinks and reds here, and if I wanted to, I could match them up, so that way it would have light colors together, but I wanna kind of flip it around a little bit. Now, this is gonna be different on everyone's quilt, so every colorway is gonna look a little different. So, you know, kind of think about that as you're putting your pieces together. Do you want matchy-matchy? Do you want them to kind of change? It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Whenever we put the whole quilt together, it's not going to be noticeable no matter where you put your pieces. But I just kind of like to think about it in my head as I'm putting it together and vary things up a little bit. Not a big deal if you didn't think about that or don't want to change it. All right, so all we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this over just like this. Of course, I'm gonna line it up a little better when I get to my sewing machine, but I'm gonna sew on this line right here, and we're gonna do that 2 times. Okay, we've done that. This area up here at the top where the top of my yellow piece is gets kind of bulky, and it honestly gets a little hard to press that seam down. So just make sure you're taking your time with it and really pressing it down. And of course, look on the back side and make sure that it's doing what you want it to do on the back side as well. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. A finished quilt is always better than a perfect one. So there are our 2 pieces so far, and I worry that this is going to get longer than in my camera shot, but we'll work with it as we go along. Let's go on and step on to step number 3. Okay, with step number 3, we're grabbing our large triangles of fabric B, and we're placing them on either side at either end. So the official instructions say to add a large triangle of B to the left and right of our step number 2, and we're gonna press it towards E. So we're gonna put them on both ends, and we're gonna press them towards E, just like this. All right, remember we're gonna be pressing these towards our E fabric. So I'm pressing them towards E, and they will fight you a little bit. So just again, go slowly, just work with the fabric, and it should work out just fine. Mine are a little lumpy, but that's okay. When you're finished, you should have something that looks like this. Let's move on to step number 4. All right, here we go. This is step number 4. It says to add a large triangle of A to the left and right of our previous step, so step number 3. So this is what it looks like. Remember, if you're doing the moonstone, pay attention to which side your tone on tone is on, so that way you don't sew it onto the inside of your quilt. But we're just gonna add them to the ends just like this, and we'll come back whenever we're done. And it does say to press towards our B fabric whenever we're done. Okay, there we go. We have done that step, and now I'm pressing towards my B fabric. In my case, it's gonna be the orange yellowish gemstone kind of geode. That's what I was looking for, not gemstone, but geode kind of looking thing. There we go. All right, so what is our next step? I need to grab some more fabric, and we'll move on to step number 5. Okay, for step number 5, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our small triangles of B, and we're gonna add them to both the left and the right. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Yep, just like that. And then this one goes over here, match up the correct corners. There we go. All right, so it's gonna look something like this when we're finished. We're attaching those triangles to the left and right of clue number 4, or step number 4, I should say. And we're gonna press them towards A. And we'll do that 2 times. Because we're doing this, the other one's already at the machine, but we'll do this 2 times. All right, there we go. I've sewn those on, and now I'm gonna go ahead and press these towards fabric A. In my case, it is the white fabric. Again, just go slowly over those bulky areas and you'll get it figured out. It's not too hard. There we go. And when we're done, it should look, oops, these are upside down. It should look something like this for our clues, and we're done. This is going to be clue 3A, section 3A, however you want to label them. And whenever you're done, they should be 24.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I never measure. It looks pretty close to it to me, so I just usually call it good. And I'll label those, and we'll move on to our next step. All right, we're moving on to section 3B. We'll be making one of these section 3Bs. So the first step is to join a small triangle of A to the top right of a large triangle of D. We're gonna press that towards A, and we're gonna add our second triangle of A to the top left, and we're gonna press towards A. So we're gonna make basically a flying geese using our A and D fabric. Oh, and I just noticed it says to make 2 of them, so we're gonna do this 2 times. All right, there we go. I have sewn those 2 together, and now I'm pressing towards my A fabric. We have our flying geese, just like that. And let's move on to our next step. Okay, for step number 2, we're going to join a large triangle of E fabric and A fabric along their short sides. And we're gonna press towards E and make 2. So here's our longest side, and we're gonna take our shorter side here and press them together and sew them, not just press, but actually sew them together just like this, and we're gonna do this 2 times. All right, we have sewn those together, and now I'm pressing towards my E fabric. So I have 2 triangles that, when completed, look like this. All right, for step number 3, what we're gonna do is we're gonna join the step 2 units together, and we're gonna press to one side. So we're gonna put them together like so. So that way we have A and A, E and E. We're gonna put them together just like this. And like it says, we're gonna press to one side. It doesn't really matter one side. The arrows are pointing this way on the picture, but I don't think it really matters too much. So let's go ahead and sew this together. Okay, I've gotten that done, and now I'm just gonna press to one of the sides here. Oops, gotta make sure it's all the way on my pressing mat so that way I can press it open. Okay, I've gone ahead and pressed it to one side. Remember, we have our A fabrics on top and bottom, our E fabrics left and right. So now what we're gonna do is sew step number 1 unit on either side of step number 3. So we're gonna match our E fabric up to the D fabric, just like this, and we're gonna sew it like this. And it says to press towards E, press towards the center. All right, now that we have sewn those together, remember we're gonna be pressing inwards towards the center. In this case, it's the E fabric. It's E fabric for everyone, but for me, it's the black and white and colored print right in the center, and it should look something like this when we're done. We're gonna label this section 3B. Okay folks, there we go. That is clue number 3 for the small sparkle and shine puzzle mystery quilt. I'm gonna go ahead and label these and put them into my storage unit, and we are good to go, and we'll do this again next month for clue number 4. Thanks for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm making it my goal in 2021 to hit 100,000 subscribers, but I need your help to make that happen. Take a moment and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then don't forget to check out the other great videos that I have here on my channel. Also, share this video with your friends and tell them to come check out the Off Kilter Crafter.